This door didn't glow like the others. No spectacle. No invitation. Just silence. As you stepped closer, the world turned the volume down. Car horns softened. Footsteps lost their edge. Even the wind seemed to hesitate. There was no sign above it, yet the words were there, like they were carved into the air. Inside, silence. Price, what you carry outside. One step closer, and you couldn't even hear your own breath. You still knew your heart was beating, because your chest rose and fell against an invisible pressure. And that's when it hit you. This door wasn't muting the city. It was muting you. I'm not recording these files for people looking for a quick fix. I record doors and the deals they make, quietly, cleanly, politely, while they take something that can't be returned. Case file 002, The Quiet Room. The man who found it hadn't slept in weeks. Not real sleep, not the kind that heals. He would close his eyes, and the noise would begin. A voice, living behind his forehead, wearing his own tone like a mask. You ruined it. You're too late. You failed again. They're better than you. You'll never catch up. People call that discipline. They call it motivation. But motivation moves you forward. This voice erodes you from the inside. And then the door appeared. An ordinary street. An ordinary night. One impossible promise. Silence. He stepped closer, and for the first time in a long time, the voice stopped. He opened the door. Inside wasn't bright. It wasn't welcoming. It was dark gray, like the room absorbed light itself. The walls didn't echo. They didn't reflect. It didn't feel like a room. It felt like a void, shaped like a room. In the center, a table. On the table, 3 things: an hourglass, a pen, a card. The card read, 24 hours of silence. And underneath, smaller. Price, 1 name. A name. Not money, not blood, just a name. He signed, and the moment the ink touched paper, the room seemed to pull something from him. A soft dizziness. A tiny tremor behind the eyes. Then, relief. Outside, the city returned. But inside his head, nothing. For the first time, tomorrow didn't feel like a threat. For the first time, a message didn't tighten his throat. For the first time, he could just exist. That night, he met a friend, smiled, nodded, laughed at the right moments, almost convincing, almost normal. Until the friend's phone rang. "My mom's calling," the friend said, and suddenly, the man froze. He understood the word mom, but the mother's name, a name he'd heard 100 times, wouldn't come. It was gone. And that's when he understood what the quiet room really took. Not just a name, a label, an anchor, the nail that holds meaning in place. The first loss always feels small, because small losses are perfect bait. He went back a second time. Same card, same pen, same promise. 24 hours of silence. Price, 1 more name. This time, he signed faster. Because the brain records relief as reward, and reward demands repetition. The silence grew deeper, and the cracks began. At a cafe, he lifted a hand to call the waiter. "Excuse me?" And the sentence collapsed. Not because he didn't know the waiter's name. That wouldn't matter. But later, for a single second, he couldn't recall his partner's name. Just 1 second. A clean blank space. The kind that makes your stomach drop, because your brain shouldn't do that. He laughed it off. "I'm tired," he told himself. Then he returned a 3rd time. This time, the card changed. Silence increases. So does the price. Still, 1 name, but now a note beneath it. Your own name is not exempt. He stared at that line and chose not to see it, because all he wanted was one thing, for the voice to stop. On the fourth entry, the room felt closer, not physically, psychologically. The air felt heavier, like pressure. The walls felt nearer, like judgment, and the hourglass no longer flipped. The sand was gone. Then he read the card, and for the first time, it told the truth. We do not sell silence. We buy meaning. He didn't understand until he heard something inside the room. A sound. Not the city, not wind, not footsteps. His own inner voice, small, distant, almost unfamiliar. The quiet room hadn't healed him. It had lowered the volume of his mind and taken the messages with it. Because names are anchors. Names pin faces into memory. They lock bonds into place. When names disappear, life starts to float. You recognize people, but they don't land. They don't connect. And when you lose your own name, you can't anchor yourself. That's what the quiet room was doing. It wasn't offering peace. It was selling the feeling of peace by dissolving identity. One label at a time. Not therapy, erosion. On his last visit, he stood at the table. The pen waited, like a blade. The card held one sentence, final 24 hours, and below it, price, your name. If he signed, the voice would go silent. He would sleep, the pressure would lift. But if he signed, and someone asked his name tomorrow, he might not be able to answer. And a person who can't say their name can't hold the question. Who am I? He looked at the door. The light leaking from the crack wasn't warm anymore. It looked like a warning. He set the pen down. He walked out. The city returned. The noise returned. And the voice didn't slam back all at once. It returned in whispers. Uncomfortable, but real. And in that moment, he understood. Silence is not always a gift. Sometimes it's just escape. And the price of escape isn't always money. Sometimes it's your name. So here's my question for you. If a door offered you 24 hours of silence, which name would you give? A friend's, a city's, or your own? Because in the DarkDeep Archive, we record one rule. Some doors don't lead outside. They lead deeper in.